All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Niouma, and I am a rising second year doctoral student at the Environmental Health Department at Boston University. And this summer, I had the pleasure of working with the New York City Mayor's Office, particularly Mayor's Office of Environmental Justice, Climate and Environmental Justice. And I was particularly on the battery storage deployment on the clean energy team. So a little bit of background. So we have been addressing equitable deployment in battery storage within New York City. So New York is trying to become reduce greenhouse gases by 40% by 2030 and be carbon neutral by 2050. And currently we rely on like peaker plants and power plants in general to power the city. However, New York City is trying to divert from that and source more towards renewable energy. And so what this does is we would use renewable sources just like solar, water, and wind in order to power during peak demand hours. And so, as we all know, solar panels use the sun in order to power something. However, when the sun goes down, then nothing gets powered anymore. However, we have these new technology called batteries that store the excess energy into the batteries so that they can then be released. And so, what this battery concern has been is that these are physical apparatuses that then have to be placed within communities. And so a lot of equitable concerns around new infrastructure that could then also influence or like reinforce environmental injustices. And so the goal of this project during my time is just to help with deploying batteries in an equitable manner, considering the environmental justice neighborhoods, making sure that they're not overburdened, and then also giving these developers best practices in order to do that. And so what I've been working on, as I mentioned, is community best practices. And this practice guide is just focusing on equitable community engagement, looking at like stakeholder input, environmental policy and goals, and then how to address community concerns throughout this process. And so I've been working a lot with the internal team within MOCUJ, and also I've collaborated with a lot of community-based organizations and for example, some developers like Con Edison, having conversations with them as developers who are deploying these batteries to understand what are some things that they have faced that we could address in our best practices for other developers who are also creating these batteries. And then so outcomes from this is again community engagement strategies, and then also letting developers know to like reinforce workforce deployment, safety and transparency with the communities they're working with, and then just long-term accountability. For example, how do I remove this battery in a certain neighborhood in an equitable manner that doesn't disturb the already overburdened community that I've already deployed this battery in? And then so this has helped the city shape expectations for battery storage deployers, and then also make sure that this can be reinforced in other regions, like throughout the city, as well as other states nationally. So next steps is to finalize this community best practices guide. As you can imagine, there's a lot of factors and pointers that need to be emphasized throughout this guide. And so I've been writing up a nice, I think we're about 40 pages in now. So trying to get those edits and also get input and just suggestions from other partners internally and externally to make sure that everything is in alignment and is being communicated properly. And in addition to that, I will be extending my work with the city beyond this summer and into the fall semester where I'll be able to finalize the draft. And then also one of the main concerns between agencies is not having a data coordination system to know where the batteries, which communities are against the battery deployment and how to overcome that and like how to then be proactive with community engagement. And so what I've enjoyed most about this opportunity is collaborating against the different city agencies and advocates. And I also learned more about the energy sector, which is something that I've been more interested in when it comes to like environmental mitigation, adaptation, and just tackling disparities in general. And then last but not least, these are just some pictures throughout my experience. And the internship did a great job of sending us to like different tours throughout the city. So we looked at the we did a tour at the Java Center where we looked at like the green roof, which has so many fun facts. For example, like the sedum soil that's on there absorbs like 7 million gallons of water when it's a lot of rain. And then also going to the city hall, listening to different public hearings, which is something that I know urban trainees are like encouraged to do. So being able to have a seat in that room was really amazing. I took a picture pretending like I was the mayor of New York, and here's me working in the office in my cubicle. That smile is true. I've had a great time here at this office. The office has been amazing, and just seeing the collaboration between the different sectors and disciplines has been really amazing. So, yeah, thank you all for listening.